that might go for it, or they might not have a full lead out. But it is still on the front of the right-hand side there, Rob. Soudal, quick step, and on the left-hand side, Bora. And then the blue, interestingly now moving through to the front, no doubt looking after Jake Stewart. You'd imagine Groupama FDJ in the navy blue kit there, just in the middle of your screen.
Hofstetter being moved up as well in the red jersey for RKS Samsic, but it doesn't have too many men around him. Here we go on this uphill drag. We're about to come over the top of it now. Christophe is staying up towards the front where he needs to be. We're just seeing Soudal, quick step on the left-hand side. I was going to say Evenepoel then, he's not in this race, but Jacobsen, pardon me, is there. Jacobsen is there alongside Van Wilder. Jacobsen, the European champion, just moving up for himself through the centre. I'm sure he'll be trying to re-fight his lead out in a moment's time. Bora Hansgrohe desperately trying to put the power and the pace on. It's Marco Haller who's been doing that for them. 2 kilometres to go now. X just making sure that they have Alexander Christophe at the front. It did go uphill, and there was a concerted effort there from Bora Hansgrohe to really try and put the likes of Jacobsen in a little bit of pressure. They haven't got rid of Jacobsen, but what they've done is just move him down into about 30th or 40th place there. He's got to move up again, and they're hoping, I guess, that that little bit of effort to move up, find his team again, is going to take a little bit of the spring out of his step.
Yeah, well, they've placed one of the riders in the front. You can't quite tell who it is at the moment, but they're looking round. Also, UAE Team Emirates on the left-hand side as well. So it is Lotto Soudal Quickstep on the front, coming into this first little right-hander, trying to spot where the European champion is. Several riders from UAE, they're very well placed at the front. X also there. So not a lot of colour blocking, just showed how hard that final climb was.
Coming around, they will twist right in just a moment's time into that final few hundred metres. 1 kilometre to go here. A look round from Rémi Cavagna, and he can see that Fabio Jacobsen is being brought up on the left as we look at it by Miguel Marco. He'd been down into about 15th position, but through the centre it's UAE Emirates as we come towards this final roundabout now, and then they'll be into the big finale. Matt, it is key to wait here in this wind.
It is. It's Groupama FDJ on the front, 750 metres to go. Lots of glancing around. And Jacobsen is way back, but he can afford to leave it. He's still got his lead-out man on his wheel. So Jacobsen, the European champion, is on the wheel of Michael Morkov at the moment, as it still is. It is the blue of Groupama FDJ. There's also a couple of riders in the mix there from X.
And you can see that Stewart's there, Penwet is there as well, moving up his Trentin, left-hand side as we look at it. It's now Mirko who's charged with trying to wait before he leaves. We're past 300 metres to go now, into 200 metres to go, and it's Mirko who's still putting his man into position at the right time. It's a late one this, and now they go into the wind. On the left-hand side in the white, you can see Jacobsen is there, but is he going to get around the main man? I'm not sure he is, because going to the line right now, it's Jumbo-Visma. Look like they're going to take it. No, it's Christophe. Christophe is there. Christophe through the centre, and we wondered when the wily old fox would get that motor up to speed, and it's right here, right now in the Algarve.
What a sprint that was from Alexander Christophe through the centre. He had another one, I think it was Verenskjold sprinting on the left-hand side as well. I think Jacobsen had to, it was a very late sprint, but Alexander Christophe powered through the centre, but it wasn't actually given a lead out. It looked as if they were going for a two-pronged assault on the win, and might have got first and second or first and third, but great win there. First win of the year, first win in this brand new team colours. That was absolutely superb, and I must admit, a slight surprise, but that was, we know he likes a hard drag of a finish, but magnificent there from Alexander Christophe.
Well, there is the view. Alexander Christophe off to celebrate. Gets the congratulation from those looking for him. And Christophe opens his account. By the way, there's a crash in there for Casper van Uden, the sprinter from DSM. We just saw him back on his bike and going towards the finish. And as the wind batters the finish line, it's Alexander Christophe who wins just ahead of Jordi Meus, and this is that sprint again. Let's have a look. Søren Varenschold is in front of Christophe here. You can see that Jacobsen is being brought up on the right hand side at the bottom of your screen in the white jersey by Mirko. Groupama having a real go, it looks like, for Paul Penwet here, who is wearing number 32. Now on the left hand side you have the sprint being launched by the rider from Alpecin de Koning. That is young Timo Kielich, who we said it might be. Meus goes in the green. There's a rider too from Jumbo-Visma. But through the centre, it's Alexander Kristoff who launches ahead of Jordi Meus. And, well, it's a third in the end for Søren Varenshaw.
Yep, that was my error there. Varenshaw was leading him out, protecting him from the wind on the right-hand side. So he was... so there's that just crash that we didn't see that before. A couple of riders coming down on the right. But this is the sprint. This is where Varenshaw goes. But look at him moving over to the right-hand side. And Kristoff waiting. Already on the left-hand side, Jakobsen is exposed, but then straight through the centre, Kristoff looking very, very strong indeed. Took it by half a length in the end.
Well, riders from Jumbo-Visma in there as well. We assume that one of them would have been Owen Gelene, maybe Tim van Dijk as well. There were two riders actually in there. Bit of a messy finish. I think that Tom Pidcock was there or thereabouts. Yep, there he is, just on the right-hand side, following the wheel of Jordi Meus. And I think he's brought home a top 10 as well.
Just likes getting stuck in, doesn't he, Pidcock? He's so versatile. But this is a classic sprint. They did so well there. As you say, first and third. You wonder if Jakobsen just opened up a little bit too early, but he's stuck with Morkov on the right-hand side there. But then look at that. So Jakobsen faded. As soon as he knew he wasn't going to win, he just dropped off a little bit there. He's not going to fight. As soon as he knows he's lost, he's not going to keep on going. But great win by Alexander Kristoff. Very important win as well. A perfect sprint. The timing, absolutely fantastic. And he just came off the wheel of his teammate with that wind. I mean, when you look at the point that Kristoff launched his sprint, he was still protected by his teammate. That's so crucial in a win like this. So had that protection all the way. The other riders that had launched were already in the wind. We saw Jakobsen on the right-hand side having to contest with that wind. While at the same time, Kristoff had launched his sprint but was still sheltered, so could carry that little bit of extra pace.
Well, liking it in Lagos was Alexander Kristoff. UNOX taking their second victory of the season. And the man who took their first, setting up the big new signing to do it on European soil. And this is that final kilometre again.
Yeah, it is quite... It's the only team with any real on the right-hand side. That climb, it did cause a little bit of an upset. Several riders slipping back. Not much colour blocking at all here. And you can just see, as you said, Remy Cavagna having a little look round, see if you can find where Jakobsen is. Now, Jakobsen at the moment is way back, but it's not in a bad position at all. And obviously, he trusts Michael Morkov to pick his way through. So they're waiting. Palmer bossed it through that corner, usurping at the time UAE Team Emirates, who were looking after Matteo Trentin. And as I said, they're going to move over to the left-hand side. Still lots of looking round. A very late bit of walking across the road there from a random pedestrian as well. Slightly worrying. But they're opening. This is Miles Scottson on the front now. Scottson taking it through very, very early. Well, sorry, this is Scottson on the left-hand side here, should I say. But look at where the men from Uno X are. You can just see Werenskjold there. Big figure of Werenskjold still looking after Kristoff. He makes his move and straight away starts to drift over to the left-hand side where that shelter is. Great bit of riding here. They really did do their homework. Straight over to the left-hand side. And Kristoff still in the wheel now. Still in the wheel, off the wheel with only about 80 metres to go. So it's minimum amount of time exposed in that wind.
The experience, the know-how, and the speed to back it up. Alexander Kristoff is the oldest stage winner at the Volta Algarve for 38 years. Not since then 41-year-old Joaquim Agostinho won in 1984 as anybody won at such a late stage of their career. 35 years old, Alexander Kristoff with his first of the season, beating Jordi Meus and his lead-out man, Søren Varenshaw. Fourth place went to Fabio Jakobsen. Fifth, Tom Pidcock following the wheels and getting in there. Bittner, Penwet,